Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Go ahead and get started. It looks like we got enough people in here. So wanted to give a quick update from on progress that's happened over the last week. The Ashland work between First and Howard last week, that section of road was closed down. They were able to complete the road removals pretty quickly on that. And the pedestrian fence is up for that. They are starting this week on getting the storm sewer in for that stretch. There's also a water main connection that needs to be made from the alley out into the road. I know that is going to cause a few main interruptions either today or tomorrow, sometime the tail end of this week. And the construction crew should be informing everybody who will be affected by that of that temporary shut off of that water main. And in the past, when they've done these, they've just taken about an hour to complete. So it shouldn't be an interruption that is going to be anything too long or lengthy on that. The planter beds and seat walls on Howard were started. Those are continuing this week. We backfilled the sidewalk on the west side of Howard. That's on the courthouse side this week, where they were able to get that seed mulch put down on that, really kind of sprucing that area up because the open house and grand opening of the Justice Center is today. So there's been a little bit of focus over the last week on just making that side look decent for that event. And then lastly, the biggest thing on the progress report, and hopefully everybody has noticed this, but we did get Salem open back up completely. So we've now got that section of traffic and that south half of the square pretty much done as far as road construction. On this current phase that we are working on, there are a lot of things still that need to be done, tree plantings, planter bed plantings and things like that, but we're outside of windows right now where we can do that. So that's something that'll most likely happen later this fall, and I would anticipate likely happen when we get everything else done. So when Ashland's completely done and we're putting trees over there, we're probably putting trees over on Howard around the same time. This week, they're finishing up those planter bed seat walls on Howard. They're continuing on the sidewalk on the east side of Howard, which would be kind of on the north side of that. I know they got the color bands of sidewalk down yesterday, and I believe they're pouring the rest of the sidewalk on that today. Continuing with the storm sewer installation on Ashland, and then that water main project that I just explained a little bit, and then also putting the yard hydrants in at the corner there of Howard and Ashland. And for anybody who doesn't know what those yard hydrants are for, those are mainly for the city. So when we get the plantings put on the square, our Parks and Rec staff have a water source that they can easily connect to get water rather than bringing water in a truck all the time. And then looking to next week, we're hoping to wrap up all of the sidewalk work on Howard. Our goal, as we discussed yesterday, would to be have Howard kind of finished off, punch list, all of those items taken care of the week of July 11th. I would hope by July 14th. So somewhere between the 11th and the 14th is when we would anticipate getting that half block of Howard back open. We're also going to start some of the subgrade prep work, the rock chambers and some of the sub drain on Ashland, because the utility work on that block of Ashland is so minor. They're going to be able to get right in there and start prepping to pour that road back pretty quickly. So that'll be good. And then hopefully the closure of that half block there on Ashland will go pretty fast. And then we can get that intersection of Howard and Ashland open as well. And then we'll just focus on those last 2 blocks of Ashland during the remainder of the summer and into the early fall. Looking at the future, we're looking at starting sidewalks eventually on Ashland once we get that road put back in. We got to do the other thing with Howard that we need to do before we get that open is put the pavement markings down, get the street signage up, and get all the street lights back in as well. So that's going to be some of that work that happens once the sidewalk is complete. But before we get that open, we are still tentatively looking at shutting Ashland down from Howard to B Street on July 11th. As we get closer to that date, we're getting more confident that that will be the date that we go with. But I think Absolute indicated to us yesterday that by this time next week, we'll definitely have a very good indication if it's going to be that 11th or possibly later than that. But for all the businesses on Ashland, I would just start planning for the 11th being the case. That gives us hopefully a quicker shot to get that thing done and get it done sooner rather than later. So we'll do the official notification to businesses, hopefully sometime at the tail end of this week, letting everybody know. But again, July 11th would be the date that you can expect on that one. So with that, the other thing we're doing is just working on punch list items with the contractor. Punch list items are the items when we do our walkthroughs that we note to them that still need to be fixed on those, and things that can be done with traffic open for the most part. But we're still working through some of those items on that. So with that, Brenda and AP, if there's anything I missed, jump in, but happy to answer any questions if anybody has them.
Anybody have questions or thoughts?
Well, that was relatively easy then. I do see, is there something in chat there? Hold on, I gotta get my.
It's from Rick. It's a good morning.
Okay, perfect. My mouse is not cooperating, so. Well, with that, as usual, reach out to us if there's any questions at all. I know Brenda will get her email out summarizing everything on that. And hopefully we are able to see everybody at the grand opening of the Justice Center today. I know that's a very big thing for the county to get that project done. And our goal has always been to get the streets done at the tail end of this year. So come 2023, we're pretty much done with construction on the street side of the square, and everybody can kind of get back to normal. So if you're able to join us today up there, please do so at 1 o'clock. Otherwise, have a great day. Thank you.
Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you.